So right off the bat I want to say this drawing took me a lot of time to do, so I'm just gonna use a super speed to go on about this tutorial because I really just want to focus on a different aspect of the drawing. Well, as you can see, when starting this drawing, you're gonna see that something is quite different or just, doesn't fit in. And because I want to focus on a particular technique or material rather than a technique. The paper that I'm using today is called Tone Tan paper. More information about it on the description below. And you might be wondering, well, ArtMaster, is it really gonna change that much just because we're using a different sort of paper? And look, I thought about it the same way, but I can confidently say that it is a rotund yes. It's gonna be super different the way that it looks. You see, this paper being darker than white, when we use lighter colors like whites or any sort of highlights, they're gonna pop out so much more. You'll have to wait to the coloring part to actually see it, happening before your eyes. But hey, it's not all, good. When it comes to this material, yeah, it is expensive and, monetary concerns are to be aware of. Also, this paper is quite frail, so I don't like that much. And as the last negative, I would say that the texture of the paper, it's, kind of like recycled paper. The pencil, it doesn't flow as well. If you ever try this paper before, you'll get what I'm saying. And this sketch is quite complex, so it took me a while to actually make it work. As you can see now, I'm working on those little, sparklings of energy, and I really want to point them out because at the end of the video, you'll see how good they're gonna be looking. And I gotta say, I love Goku Super Saiyan 3. I think it's my favorite form of his, so, I had a lot of respect for it, so I was kind of afraid of actually draw it, but I think it really turned out very well. Now, when you're almost done with the line art, do not line art the sparkling energy, the little lightnings. No, we're just gonna erase them a little bit so that we can only faintly see them, okay? Moving on. Okay, so we begin by actually coloring the lightning, and we're gonna use a white colored pencil. And you can already see how the contrast with the white and the tone tan paper really looks. Also, as always, I'm using Prismacolor pencils. You can check the description box below and you'll have more information on them. After that, we'll switch to a turquoise blue to just do the outline of the lightning strikes or the lightning sparks. Remember to keep your pencil sharpened for more precision. We can then switch back to the white and use it to have this little effect on the outside parts of the lining, and I think it looks amazing. Do not press your pencil very hard to achieve this effect, and also as a note, if the sheet of paper was white, this effect would be completely lost. Now, moving on to his skin, we'll start by the fist. We'll use a brown shade for the shadows, and we'll use a peach color for the rest of his skin. As a third color, I use this light skin tone color, and as you can see, it already pops up way more than a regular white paper. And finally, we have those final touches again with the white pencil, and it really shows how that lighting effect really works on this type of paper. Moving on to the wristbands, I use black color, ocean blue, then a sky blue, and white for the different gradient effect that we want to achieve on this particular wristband. We'll continue to use this technique along the body and the different points we can see his skin. And as you can see, it has a weird 3D-like effect, and this is basically due to the contrast between the light colors and the tone tan paper. As a point of note, I've taught in the past to make your own color palette. And I do have my own color palette, but they are on white paper. And as you can probably guess, yes, white paper and this tone tan paper, they're quite different. So the combinations of color, they're not gonna be the same. So I really had to go again and try a few new combinations to make sure that the colors that I wanted to use would translate better to this tone of paper. Moving on to his shirt, well, we're gonna use a different shades of orange to make sure that we have that fantastic look to this color gradient. Always finish with that lighter tone to make it pop, particularly in this tone of paper. I've been asked a lot in the past to do full body characters, and well, there's a reason why I tend not to go with the full body characters all the time, and it's because if you really want to make the character look right and well proportioned, there are going to be different parts of the body that are going to be, smaller, like its face or whatever. So having a smaller area to draw a bunch of details, I think it leaves a lot more room for error, and it is particularly difficult for me. So that's why I always try to go with half body or just like zoomed in versions of the characters. So this took me a while, but I really think that it looks super good. For the hair, you can see we're using the same type of orange that we started to use in the darker parts of its clothing, and then we move up to a brown shade, but we're gonna leave empty the places that we're gonna add a more highlight effect. We then change to this lighter yellow, and you can already see a huge contrast when it comes to the color itself and the paper. lastly, for the highlights, we'll move to this cream-like yellow for the highlights of the hair. And look, it's gonna look amazing. Then we just go back and just add a little bit more details in the areas that we think might benefit from them. Well, and there you go, here's our Super Saiyan 3 form Goku. I honestly loved how it looked, I really enjoyed this technique. Let me know in the comments below what you guys think. If you want to know more about this, please subscribe to the channel and you'll see more content coming your way. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and comment, it really helps me out a lot guys. Thank you so much, and we'll see you all on the next one. Goodbye!